February 21st, 2021 was the last day of my corporate job. Previous to doing YouTube full-time, I was a medical device sales rep in the Phoenix area. I occasionally traveled to Vegas and Hawaii and Los Angeles to cover surgeries. And during my 2.5-year stint as a medical device sales rep, I saw 412 surgeries. Now, the medical device industry, as far as a sales position goes, is generally highly sought after because you're well paid. The trade-off, just like anything, is it takes a lot of time. So for me, I was on trauma call almost 7 days a week. There were really no breaks. It was go, go, go. And unfortunately, the rep that I was working under out here had been here for a long time, and they weren't willing to split the territory. So I got to that 2.5-year mark and becoming the rep who's making commission that's making like $600,000 a year. And I was at a time to where in about a year, maybe 2 years, I could be in a position making about a minimum of $125 to $150. The other rep in the area is making about $600,000 a year that I was working under. So I just got to the point where if I was making 600 grand a year, I'd be willing to put in the 7 days a week and the constant running around and the nonsense, because the trade-off is a lot of money for that. But I've been doing YouTube since 2011. It's been a thing that I've been building on the side. I liked cars. I liked to make people laugh. I like golf. I was just trying to find my way. And when I purchased my Model Y and started to do videos on that, the views just went through the roof. I think because I'm a little different than the average Tesla YouTuber. They just normally sit in their kitchen, tell you what's coming from Tesla, whereas I'm out doing road trips and doing things and making, not so serious, not taking myself so serious about it. It's just a car. This is an insane cult and I'm just having some fun. And I think that's why my audience grew so much and continues to grow so much. So February 24th, 2021 was my last day. And the reason I'm making this video is because this can help you regardless if you want to be a YouTuber or you want to go out and do your own business, or maybe it's just changing from one job to the next. That's the reason I'm making this. It's been a year. I've been literally, this is all, my only income is YouTube and my sponsorships, and that's it. So I've been out here doing that. I'm going to give you the results of that. And I think there's some good advice in here that will help you, because I know when I was going through that process, like just being depressed and miserable and not knowing what to do myself, feeling no purpose in life and feeling empty at the end of the day, I think this video is going to help you, because I sought these videos out when I was in that position. The first thing is there is no perfect time. There's no such thing as the perfect time to quit. I'm always someone that's trying to be like, well, maybe if we wait a little bit longer or do this or do that, this will be a better time. There's no such thing. And I'll give you a real life example. On February 24th, when I quit, I went to bed that night. My wife was having some stomach pain. Turns out she was having an ectopic pregnancy, meaning she was having internal bleeding because the fetus was being passed through the fallopian tube and it got stuck. So she had internal bleeding in her stomach. I had to take her to the emergency room. The day I quit, take her to the emergency room. They took her right into surgery. And at 8 a.m. that morning, I was bringing her back out of the ER in a wheelchair. So I was right back at the hospital after I quit, thinking I'd never go to the hospital again. So there's no perfect time. I thought that was a good time. We didn't have kids yet. We don't have any serious debt. We have, school loans and that's it. And I was like, okay, this is a good time. But then life happens. Regardless, we're okay. Everything is fine now. She's pregnant. She's due in August and everything is going to be fine. But there's just no perfect time. And I faced that immediately once I left my corporate job. The other reason I left my corporate job is I was making pretty good money. I was making $95,000 a year, which is good. In most circumstances, I'd be happy with that. But I didn't ever feel valued there. When you're working under someone that's making 6 times what you're making and you're doing essentially the same job, you don't quite have all of the responsibilities of the rep because you're not having to hit a quota and all that stuff. But that's what I live for. Now I literally do a position where there is zero baseline. There is no baseline, there's no anything. You have to go out every single day and create it for yourself, which is way harder than having a job. And another perspective that I gained through working for myself is how easy a regular job is, how easy it is to go work for a company. It's miserable. I was absolutely miserable, for sure. But on this side of it, working for yourself and having to be creative and do it all on your own, you look back to the other side and you're just like, man, I can go get a salary somewhere and sit at a desk and you know, and just type things in a computer and you make money. It's really crazy. I'm not saying that I want to go back to that because there's a certain freedom to what I do. I mean, luckily in my niche, I'm traveling. I've now started a golf channel. I'll have that linked down below. So I can do what I want, but I really don't even play golf and play as much golf anymore. And the funny part is I want to, but I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything because I love doing YouTube. I love my job so much that every day when I get up and I create a video or go do something or have a meeting with a potential sponsor or friends to help shoot a video, that's what I just enjoy. So I may be working those Saturdays, Sunday, Monday, you know, constant, but I enjoy what I'm doing. The other thing I thought about when I left my corporate job to do YouTube full time is I went to college. I have a 4-year degree, I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I actually minored in sales. And I thought to myself, man, am I using why did I go to college if this is what I'm doing? But the reality is I'm running a business. Now, you may view YouTube as a place you go to kick back, relax, and watch funny, stupid things. Watch Teslas flying through the air, you may watch that. It's a business. You have to work with sponsors. You have to negotiate commissions. Some companies will reach out and there's power in saying no. It's some advice I'll give to you if you are a YouTuber. I guess this could go for anyone. I had a company reach out, a larger company, a known brand who worked with a lot of bigger channels, and they offered me $100 to show their product in a video. And I charge a lot more than $100 to have a product shown in a video. I also vet the product out, and this is an example of that. And I was like, I'm aware of you guys, I like your product, but that's not what I charge to be shown in a video. And you have to think about, I've been doing this since 2011. I've been building a dedicated audience for all of those years, and I'm not going to show you something, first of all, that's junk. And then second of all, I'm not going to have a price put on my forehead by a company. I set the prices, my rules here. So I said no to that company, and I started to think to myself later that day, I was like, man, it would have been really cool to work with them. And I thought about it, but I was like, no, you can't cave in. So day goes by. That next day, I get 3 emails from companies not as well known, create products that I like and would be willing to show on the channel. That's the other thing, willing to show. For sure, I have a sellout point. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, for me, it's not about the money. Like, if someone was like, we'll pay you $10,000 to show this in the video and say it makes your Tesla smell better, look, I'll do it. For $100, it's not worth it. I'm gonna show my audience good things. And ultimately, if you show your audience good products, you have commissions set up where you get a % of each sale used when they use your code. That's going to be way more valuable over time. You can't think about them you can't think about the short term. You have to expand and think about what's 3 years look like with this company after we do this initial video and everyone loves the product. Did I use my college degree? Absolutely. That's business. There's accounting, there's negotiation, there's all of these things that come into play on a daily basis where I think a college degree helps, but I also don't think it's necessary. And I guess what I'm circling back to is this job takes on more responsibilities than your average job. The other thing is your parents and friends, and that's a tough thing to negotiate because you're thinking, you'll bounce ideas off them. You'll say, hey, I'm thinking of leaving my job, and you'll talk to your friends, you'll talk to other friends and say, well, they're cautious. My advice to you with your parents and your friends, that's like the toughest, probably one of the hardest things to go through, is you have to know in your heart, in all of the years you've built up the skills to transition to do whatever you're going to do in life, in business, whatever, if you in your heart know that by quitting whatever you're doing and moving down a different path will bring you success, that's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. You don't need to go to your parent. You always want to get feedback from people, and you will do that for sure, just to bring some peace of mind, and you'll take grains of salt from everyone's salt can and you'll put them in your salt can, and that creates you. As long as you have a plan and you are fully confident in what you're doing, that's all you need, and you can move forward on doing whatever you need to do to bring happiness to you, to bring more freedom to you, to bring more financial success. You know in your heart, in your mind, you have what it takes or you don't have what it takes. You will know that, and it's really not going to and any conversation you have with other people is really not going to change it that much. I found that in the various conversations I had going into this, I already had the answer, but was looking for some sort of validation. The other part of it, and this builds off of the friends and family, is your support system. My wife was the person who was like, Ben, you're calling your manager and you're putting your 2 weeks in today. I was just like laying face down in the backyard and on pause, didn't know what to do. And she pushed me to get to that point. She's like, we are fine. She's like, I have a job. The worst thing that happens, and this is the other thing, the worst thing that happens by me taking this leap is I have to go back and get another job. No one dies. No one gets sick. I just have to go back and get another job. And then I can sleep at night saying, hey, I gave that a shot. I gave it a fair try and it didn't work out. Fortunately for me, it is working out. I've been able to exceed the revenue that I was making at my old job. Not any rapid, crazy growth. Anything that I've done in my life, like literally from grades in school to sports to business, anything I've done has always been a gradual ramp up. I've never spiked like this in anything that I've done. Now I've peaked in sports and academics and things like that at certain times, but I've never just had crazy spikes. It's always been a slow, gradual build, which is frustrating because you see other people, they'll pass you up and they'll go, but eventually you catch them and then you just keep on going and everyone else falls off like this. If you're like that or you're not seeing the success right away, it will come, but you absolutely have to be patient. Again, I've been doing this for over 11 years now, and there's YouTubers that started last year that have 1 million subscribers and they're just smashing me. I'm consistent over time and I'm starting to get that exponential growth, especially on YouTube with views and sponsorships, and it's all been working out. So that's about it. Everything has been going great. I've picked up great sponsors, and I've also, while the money increases with the sponsors, they're willing to pay a lot more now because I have a pretty dedicated audience. I've still stayed true to saying, they've tried to force products on me. So we really want you to show this product. We really want you to show that product. I'm like, I would never put that on my car. So I'm not putting it in the video. I want to put this product, and this product, and I'll show that. But if my audience goes and looks at those products or your website in general, they can go make that decision for themselves. I try to show products that I personally like, and then you as an audience can go and decide what you want to do. Yeah, that's the update. Everything has been going well. I sincerely appreciate everyone's support. It's really cool to be doing this. Not everything's great. Editing becomes a burden on me at times, but that's why I have Andrew who will edit for me sometimes. He also helps me shoot some videos, and I'd love to get to the point where I can hire him full time to take that burden off of me so I can be creative and try to dedicate more time to shooting videos and ideas and writing things out, whether it's a funny script or just dedicating more time to certain shots I want to have in videos to make the quality better for you as an audience and to bring in a larger audience. So that's probably the next part, is scaling the business up, and that's about it. So I hope that... Mom's calling again. All right, I'll talk to Mom. You guys yelled at me. Anyways, this video is over. Please like. Talk to you next time.